Hello, my friends. Happy New Year's Eve. This is long overdue. I promised I would do a restorative class a little while ago when we were doing yoga teacher training, and I usually teach the restorative portion of that. However, we didn't have a space for a while, and I just unpacked my bolster in my new space. So thank you for your patience. My name is Laura. I'm always happy to be here with you. And for those of you that are new to restorative, it is a very relaxing practice. It is a very passive practice. And truth be told, the first time I practiced restorative, I thought it was nonsense because I didn't know how to be still. And I was very type A at the time, and I didn't have any interest in practicing something that wasn't pushing myself to the max. However, in time, I learned how necessary it is to practice both the challenging, vigorous things and the art of learning to quiet your mind and relax and refuel. So you will need a pillow or a bolster, maybe 2 pillows if you have them. If you have any blocks, just get all the props, and a blanket. And you want to be as comfortable as possible. So make sure that you are wearing some warm clothes, because as your heart rate slows and as we go into relaxation, we might become a little chillier. So grab yourself a blanket, a bolster, a pillow if you don't have a bolster, and we will get started. So with this last day of the year, let's find our meditation and take a moment to reflect. Get comfortable in your meditation seat or lying down. Take a deep breath. And drop into your space. And drop into your body. And drop into how you are feeling in this moment. Give yourself permission to feel whatever it is you were feeling. And we'll turn our thoughts into reflection of the recent times past. And what we focus on tends to be what expands. So let's focus on the good, even if it's challenging to find those good things. Anything that makes you smile, any event or occurrence that brings warmth to your heart. Perhaps a friend that you've spent more time with this year. Perhaps the growing of love and relationship that you've developed with yourself, as we've been a little more isolated this year. You might feel appreciation for something as simple as a daily walk, fresh air, perhaps a furry friend in your life that brings you joy. Whatever these memories or moments, inviting them in. And recognizing what a blessing they all are. With each breath, let these good vibes wash into and all over you. It's perfectly normal to have mixed emotions with memories, or perhaps have some not so positive vibes make their way in. And that's okay. We let them come and go. Simply observing. Knowing that we always have that choice to come back to joyful or happy moments at any time, even if they're fleeting. Bring your hands to your heart center. Imagine you can feel all that joy right there. Let's breathe it in and send it on out. Release your hands. Come out of your seat or out of lying down. And we'll make our way onto all fours. Make some fists with your hands, turning your knuckles to the outer edges of your mat. Push down through those fingers. Inhale, lift your tailbone, shine your heart forward. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, let your spine round. Inhale and exhale. A couple more times at your own pace. Now release those fingers, spread those hands nice and wide, and let's make these movements a little bigger. Inhaling forward and exhaling to pull back. You might want to make a longer or a wider stance here, whatever feels good in your body today. Inhaling to open your chest. And exhaling to sink your hips back towards your heels. And let's make a couple big circles with our hips, shifting our weight front, back, side to side. And go ahead and switch your direction. All right. Grab your bolster and your blocks or your pillow. If you do not have a pillow or bolster, you are going to use your blanket or a towel. So option with no pillow, with just a blanket or towel. You're gonna roll it up. It's gonna come behind your heart center, so more towards between your shoulder blades, then down in your low back. And then if there's excess, you can just roll it in, palms face up. Now for my friends that have all the toys, bolster is going to come lengthwise with your mat, and then blanket or block can go underneath so that we're on a bit of an incline. Again, not looking for a back bend here, but looking to open through our chest. If you try any of these and you're not comfortable, please adjust to a place where you are comfortable, because we want to be able to fall asleep, yep, totally allowed, in any of these postures. So we're coming down the bolster, and we want the most open part to be the part that is most lifted, to be behind your heart center. And then you're welcome to keep your knees bent to support your low back, or to let your legs just come out long. Letting your feet fall open and your heels get heavy. Letting your palms fall open and the back of your hands get heavy. Letting your chest fall open as your back body gets heavy. And letting all the tension wash out of your face. And if you please, you can take your focus to your heart center. Coming back to one memory or moment or thing that you are grateful for, something that brings you joy. And as we settle into stillness, we'll keep our focus on our breath, on inhaling and exhaling, that joyful feeling. Taking your last few breaths here. And letting that joy wash into and through you. And when you're ready, we'll start to wiggle our fingers and toes. Stretch our arms up overhead and bring our feet into the floor for support. Well, make sure you support your head as you roll over onto one side. Don't let it just plop down onto the floor. And then you can come on down onto your back. Tuck your shoulder blades together on your back body. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Hands onto your knees. We'll draw some small circles. Nice and slow. Letting the floor do all the work for you. Gently switch your direction. All right, roll over onto one side and grab your bolster or a couple of pillows. Your bolster or pillows are going to come lengthwise with the mat again, this time flat on the ground. And we're going to start by sitting on our right hip, bringing ourselves right up next to the bolster. So for me, I like the bolster about not right behind my back, but a little bit down my thigh, and you can adjust as we go here. Knees are relaxed. You might want another pillow, blanket, or block for in between your knees for a little extra support, but you'll know when you come down. Or if this knee is already lifting, go ahead and put that in there. So knees are going to stay in this direction. Inhale, get nice and tall, and exhale, twist towards your bolster. So here is where you can adjust it. We're going to bring the entire front body, if you can twist that way, keeping this length, onto the bolster. If your whole front body doesn't come onto the bolster, you can stay slightly to your side. Whatever is available to you without pulling or tugging. Arms are just going to relax on either side, and your right ear is coming to the bolster. Again, we want to be as comfortable as possible here. So let the props, let all those toys do as much of the work as possible for you so that you can just surrender with gravity. If there's any discomfort in your back, make sure you adjust. Because as we stay in these postures for at least 5 minutes, sometimes upwards of 15, if we're in discomfort, the discomfort is going to increase. So you want to make sure you're as cozy as you can be from the start. And sometimes the discomfort comes from our mind. And we're simply practicing how to slow down our thoughts, how to just be in our bodies. as we settle into this gentle twist. And again, as we settle into stillness, if there is something that brings you comfort here, that makes you happy, I kind of feel like I'm hugging the earth here. And that makes me happy because I love time spent in nature. So feel free to bring your focus to that happy thought like Peter Pan. Settling into your breath. Surrendering the entirety of your weight into the support beneath you. Last few breaths on the side. Feeling the softness of your body on the pillow. And feeling the support of everything beneath you. And with as little disruption as possible, we use our hands to press ourselves up and set up on the other side. So just switching over onto that left hip. Bending our knees, twisting to let that upper body face towards the bolster. And then coming on down, left hip, left side of your body or your front of your torso on the floor, and left ear to the pillow. Use your exhale to let go and sink into the floor. Use your exhale to surrender the weight of your body to the support beneath you. Take your last few breaths here. As you feel the weight of your body, spread your fingers, press down to your palms, and slowly support yourself up. Take your time. Don't rush yourself out of this relaxed energy. Oh, good, you're still there. Take the soles of your feet together. Bounce your knees a couple times. Twist to one side. And we'll go on over to the other side. And come back through center. Let yourself round forward towards those feet. Coming up and out of your posture, we'll do a supported child's pose. So you're gonna need a pillow or a couple blocks for this. Knees nice and wide so there's room for your tummy to breathe. Here's one option. Bolster comes in between your knees. You come on down. We'll start with that right ear to the mat. If that feels like your hips are still lifting, go ahead and build your support a little higher so that your hips can stay the heaviest here. If you don't have a pillow, but you have a block or a couple big, thick books, you can place your head on the block here as well. The forehead down, no need to turn your head. Whatever option you choose here, we want your knees to be comfortable. If your knees are not comfortable here, go ahead and take Baddha Konasana on your back. So soles of your feet together, knees falling open. You'll get a similar sensation. And wherever you decide to be, take a moment here to settle in. And I've read a couple times that the hips are the place that we like to house our resentment. So sometimes when we get into these hips, we can feel a little crunchy or crabby or angry, which is fine. Totally cool to feel anything and everything in yoga or in life in general. Where was I going with that? I don't remember. Anyhow, if you have these things arise and they're not pain, you can stay here. But if it's coming from a place of pain, like physical pain, please readjust. Otherwise, we can simply breathe into whatever our experience is. We can be with it. We can make space for it and just allow it. I remember where I was going with it now. So coming back to the beginning of our practice with our reflection and drawing in good things and good memories through the year, we can also let go of what's not serving us as we go into this next cycle. So it's okay to let go of these discomforts, these old hurts. or frustrations. And if you want to focus on the letting go, we'll just switch our concentration over to the exhale, letting everything release naturally. And for my friends who have their ear to one side with as little disruption as possible, we will switch onto the left ear now. If your head is straight, you can just stay exactly where you are. Wherever you are, take a big breath in. Let it go. And we'll slowly come on out of that child's pose. Come on down onto your back. Take your knees wide. Grab a hold of your shins or your thighs and gently rock from side to side. Okay. Stretch your hands and feet away from each other. That always makes me yawn without fail. Okay. So feet flat into the floor like you're setting up for a bridge pose. You can use a bolster or a block or a pillow for this one. Lift up your bum and slide whatever you choose underneath your bum for this one. So if it's too high, you can come lower. But what we want to make sure is that it's not underneath your low back like that. It's not a back bend. It's underneath your bum, so much so that you feel like your shoulders, you're going to fall in the direction of your shoulders. So no pain in your back. You can keep your knees bent if that feels good in your low back. Or if you prefer, you can let your legs come long if that's not too intense of a stretch, if that's feeling like a lot. We don't really want any of these postures to feel like a lot. The only challenge that we might expect or invite in is the challenge of stilling our mind, of getting comfortable with being still. Wherever you are, let your feet get heavy. Let your hips get heavy. Let your head and your shoulders get heavy. And come back to your breath. One more time, if there's anything you want to let go of. Focus on letting it leave with each exhale. If your legs are long, slowly bring your feet back into the floor one at a time. Walk your shoulders a little bit further away from the bolster. And take a couple of nice deep breaths into your belly. Gently lift your bum off of your bolster or pillow and just push that down underneath your knees so your bum can come back to the floor. And if you're using a block, you can just come into a traditional Shavasana. Legs a comfortable distance apart. Shoulders relaxed with your palms facing up. Head and neck in neutral. Bring your attention to your tummy. Let your breath gently rise and fall here. As you take your last few breaths here, one last time, invite in what you need. And release what you don't. Take a big breath in. Let it go. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll out your ankles and your wrists. Stretch your arms and your hands. Oh, I meant your hands and your feet away from each other. Oh, always the yawns in that one. Roll over to one side and take a moment here. Thank your body for all that it does for you. And thank yourself for showing up for practice today. When you're ready, find your way up to a comfortable seat. Get tall through your spine. And bring your hands to your heart center. Seal your intention, whatever it is you're bringing in or letting go of, with a cleansing breath. And we'll seal this practice with one communal Om. Inhale. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I wish you a new year full of laughter and love. Namaste. Thank you, my friends. I'll see you in the new year.